um, how do you change the height? How do you manipulate images in PHP? Well, you can use the GD extension and some of these functions. Okay, well, let's just take a quick look at them. So what I'm doing here is, well, I'll summarize them first. Okay, image create from JPEG. This is the main function. You can also use image create from, so this one obviously it relates to JPEGs, but you can also do image create from ping, image create from GIF, right? So you can do these. You just need to change that last bit of the function, and it does the same thing, right? So essentially, what I am doing here, I'm taking a file from the server, okay, in the files array, and that is coming here, right? I'm selecting it with a a dialog box, and then I have three text fields. One, I have a name for it, my image, my new image, whatever. And so I am sending down the pike a couple of, well, actually I want to use language that everybody will understand, so I won't. I'll try to make this. I'll try to use language which a non-native speaker. I know there's some non-native speakers out there too who want to look at this. At any rate, the size here, I'm passing the width. So I'm to modify an image. Let's say you want to modify an image here. I'll pass in 200, an integer for the width, and the quality. Okay, the quality. Let's say I just want 50%. Okay. Now let's take a look at what I'm doing here quickly. So here I've got the name, the size, the quality, and the input, my file input. I call it test pick. So here it's coming from the server as test pick, right? So here's where I get my file. I get a hold of my file in the files array. Specify temp name, okay, and as you're aware, this name here, this was set by me on within within my HTML code. You can see it down here and right here, okay. And if you're a beginner, this channel is mainly for beginners, so I recommend you just copy exactly what I do here. And if you're not a beginner, just please be patient, and I'll try to do these as quick as I can so that you get what you're looking for. All right, image create from JPEG. I've got there's my original right here. Okay, that's what's coming down the pipe, or that's what, okay. Then I create it. Now I have my resource, and then image scale. Let's say you want to change the size of your image. Somebody uploads something, it's not of the right size. So you notice over here I set 200, and this argument here that you pass to this function image scale, that's going to be the width. You can simply pass it the width, and it will naturally spit out the height. It will refactor and change the height so it remains proportional. Again, it will remain proportional. And boom, there's my scaled image. Okay. And now what I'm going to write onto long-term storage, right? I'm going to write an image to memory on my server, and I call it, okay, here's destination. Destination is just my folder up on my server. Now, one thing to notice, you notice I don't have a / there. So this images file, right, this images folder, is going to be in the same folder as this file, this images file. Okay, right? So this is not an absolute path, it's a relative path. And then I have another one, apartment, and then I have another slash at the end of it there. Okay, so that's where I'm going to be writing this image. So then I take the name, I add that to the destination, and I put on the end .jpeg. Okay, now here I take image scaled, and now I've prepared my string, which will represent the location, the final file on my server. And then here's quality. Now quality, this is, it takes an integer from 0 to 100, and so it defaults to 75. All right, 75% quality. I don't know why that is, but that's just the default. So if you don't put in a quality, it will just default to 75. If you put 60, there's 60%. If you put 90, 90%. Okay. Then afterwards, what I did was, so here now the file has been written. This will write it to long-term storage. And, you know, it will write it to my hard disk. So I use the function file size to get it, and then divide it by 1,000,000 because I want to see what's the file size in megabytes, and then I divide it by 1,000, right, to find out what it will be in kilobytes. Then you need to remember to destroy your resource when you're finished, in order to save memory and not clog things up. Okay, so let's see here. We've got one. Let's take, here's the original, and we need to go here. Just a moment. Oh yeah, just a moment. So I'll take that one and my new image. Okay, so you can see this was 264 kilobytes before modification, and then now it is only 5 kilobytes after modification. Obviously, users are going to be uploading wacky photos with just big, fat, huge photos they shouldn't be uploading, right? I'm making an apartment related site right now, and so you're going to want to change those. So let's take a look at what it looks like now. So there it is. I mean, obviously, that's only 200 pixels wide, but you can see it scaled it now. So at any rate, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put all this code, I'm going to put a link, not immediately, but in the next few days. In the next few days, I'm going to put a link to all of the code that I just showed you, so that you can just go and get it for free. And you can use this code. Just look in the description down below, right? Down here, you know, in the YouTube video, you know, you go down in the description. I think you know what I'm talking about. All right.